What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans because we believe we are the most qualified to talk about our favorite teams. I'm your co host, Isaac.
And I'm Kylie, seeing what
Oh,
Calvin is wearing right now.
and I'm Corey.
Oh,
I'm a Giants fan this week.
No, you're not.
oh my God. Oh my God. Well, welcome to episode 52, everybody. This is going to be a lot of. It's gonna be a lot of fun now. I'm just, Calvin's getting it started.
Just, just, just so everybody knows and it's clear, I am a Commanders fan. I just respect a lot of talent around the league, so I have a lot of jerseys from a lot of different teams. So I grabbed this when Odell was back in New York a long time ago. So no new New York gear. This is an old New York gear, but I'm a Giants fan because I have the Giants over the Eagles.
I guess that's a great segue into talking about the NFL, right? Right, Kylie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then.
Sure.
I like how we're all wearing different sports jerseys. By the way, Calvin's got the
Hey, Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
no,
Anyway,
nice,
yeah,
Calvin.
different sports.
Yeah, you got
different
the
species.
Kylie's got the Ronaldo Man U jersey on. I got
Portugal.
my it's Portugal. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Kyle Larson NASCAR shirt on. My boy down there, Calvin's got the Odell Beckham Jr. We're really
Yeah, that atrocity.
we're really diversifying our jerseys today.
That we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's kick off today's episode by talking about the NFL and recapping Wild Card Weekend because that was a pretty wild card weekend. Pun completely intended. And I want to quickly start out by saying this. I told y'all we were going to lose to the Cowboys, and you didn't listen.
Yeah.
You guys didn't listen. Look what happened.
Congrats, Dallas, on your 5th playoff win in 26 years. Congratulations. Real impressive.
Dak Prescott has just as many playoff wins as the Commanders do in the last 6 seasons. So who cares?
He also has almost as many wins than any Cowboys quarterback in the last 26 years. So really, it's not impressive.
Yeah, and not only that, I don't know what was going on with Tampa Bay's offense. It's like they couldn't move the ball at all in that first half.
Oh, I do. I know what's going on with our offense. We sucked. We didn't even belong there. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, my camera's doing it again.
What is your camera? Why is your camera looking
I don't know. Every so often my camera randomly thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, Mike says Brady is cooked.
Yeah, no, he's not wrong.
I think we if not the last of Tom Brady, I think we've seen the last of Tom Brady in a Tampa Bay uniform.
Yeah.
I have some genuine thoughts on that. So I've been thinking about this from last night. I've been cooking this up. If Brady ends up leaving the Bucs, which it's looking like he probably will, my answer to that is thank God. Well, I'm grateful for the Super Bowl run in 2020. That Super Bowl for me personally is always going to be tainted because they had to go up against my other favorite team, the Chiefs, and I know my roommate's boyfriend loves to tease me about the fact that it's like, oh, it's okay, Isaac. Isaac, this is why you have two teams. Yeah, sometimes it can be difficult. Brady's time in Tampa has been difficult. Yes, he's had some of his best seasons here. Yes, he's made the Bucs a legit contender. But he's also brought with him a ton of unwanted media attention. He's made the Bucs one of the most disliked franchises in the NFL because everyone now says the Bucs bought their Super Bowl ring, which, to be honest, we kind of did. We had a lot of homegrown talent in that Super Bowl, but all anyone remembers is all the big free agents that we signed to get us over the hump. Brady threw away his family to continue playing for us, which led to even more negative attention in the media. And it's clear that his quality of play dropped off a cliff from last season into this season. This entire year, the Bucs have just not been playing well at all. It's been difficult to watch them, honestly. I found myself not caring about the Bucs as much this year because of what's been going on. Brady's completely cooked. The offense is being horribly coached because Todd Bowles was a terrible pick for head coach. We knew that when we saw his years in the Jets. And if it wasn't for injury, and thank God the defense still was able to play good enough to somehow carry us to a division title in a division that, frankly, honestly, shouldn't have even sent a team to the playoffs. All 4 teams in that division are just atrocious. If this is the end for Brady and Tampa, I'll say thank you for the Super Bowl run. Thank you for motivating this team to go to honestly perform better than I ever would have expected. But the cons are outweighing the pros in this case. You brought negative media attention. You showed us all that you're willing to throw your family away for football, which as a family guy myself, and I just got to, I'm not that doesn't sit well with me. And yeah, get the hell out. I'm tired of it.
Yeah,
I
I kind of agree with you on this, actually.
I'd much rather prefer that the Bucs take what they have because they have good pieces. Our defense is one of the best in the NFL. We have some incredible Hall of Fame caliber talents on offense at the receiver positions, and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. We don't need a veteran established quarterback. What we need is a young gunslinger who can take over from the ranks of Tom Brady. Brady laid the framework. Brady was able to do what Jameis Winston never could do, and that was, finally give the Bucs an identity, on offense. Brady laid the framework. Now we just need a young guy to take it over. I feel like we can continue to be competitive for the rest of this decade. What I don't want to happen is for another decade of the Bucs to become the worst team in the NFL, because I experienced 2 straight decades of that after our first Super Bowl. I'm not willing to do that again. I'd much rather us be a run-of-the-mill average team, but one that can compete for wild card spots or occasionally compete for division titles.
It sounds like you guys need to call Chicago about that number 1 pick.
See, we already have Kyle Trask, though. That's the thing. But Trask hasn't done anything since he's gotten here. We just kind of kept him in storage.
And
he's a second-round pick.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's be realistic. Kyle Trask isn't the guy. He's not the franchise guy.
Probably not.
I mean, I'm not going to say that because he's a second-round pick. I'm just saying that because
of what we've seen on the field.
Yeah, he's not that guy. But I don't.
I'll say this: I'll gladly trade
Mike
Brady.
Yeah, I was reading that.
Oh,
Mike
yeah.
Says, I don't think people realize how good Mike Evans is. Dude's gonna walk into the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Mike Evans one of my coworkers gives Mike Evans so much shit and says that he's not as good and that he's literally just there because he can make great, catches in the end zone.
Is that what a wide receiver is supposed to do?
Yeah, it is. And secondly, Mike Evans has had 1,000 yards every single season of his career, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. This Bucs team is incredibly talented. We just have been stuck this season with bad coaching. Todd Bowles and the rest of this brass clearly are not prepared for this. Bruce Arians was prepared and was able to do it because Bruce Arians ran that ship like a dictator. Bruce Arians basically said it all goes through me.
Every year.
Yeah, every year.
Every year he's had at least 1,051 yards.
That's Hall of Fame right there. This Bucs team this was one of the more frustrating seasons of watching the Bucs, I think, ever. Even more frustrating than some of the seasons with Jameis Winston, where we were on the cusp of making the playoffs, but just weren't ready, or even when we were bad. Like when we were terrible, like it honestly was more fun when we were terrible because every game it was like, okay, we're either going to lose or if we win, it felt more special. But the second Brady showed up, every win just felt like, yeah, we won, but Brady got it for us.
Yeah, but that's going back to the Kyle Trask thing and you guys needing a franchise quarterback and stuff like that. That's why I say you should call Chicago to get that number 1 pick there, because if Brady does leave, like you said, as a Bucs fan, you don't want to see 10 years of a swamp for the next 10 years now because Brady leaves. You guys have amazing talent on offense, 100%, like you said. And like Mike said, Mike Evans is going to walk into the Hall of Fame, 100%. But having a guy like Kyle Trask at quarterback doesn't help Mike Evans' case for Hall of Fame and doesn't help you as a Bucs fan or the Bucs franchise not have a difficult time for the next 10 years. With the talent you have on offense, calling Chicago for that number 1 pick, you got guys like Bryce Young coming out. You got, CJ Stroud coming out. You got Will Levis coming out. You got, you got a bunch of talent coming out at the quarterback position this offseason that can be franchise guys for teams. Surrounding surrounding a young guy like a Bryce Young or CJ Stroud around a Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, guys like that, guys that are veterans and can help him grow and learn the offense and, grow as a player and stuff like that. Kind of like how they should do Justin Fields in Chicago. But that would be great for your franchise, actually. And I think that actually is the best option for your franchise if you don't want to see a collapse for the next 10 years. Just due to, we've already seen what Kyle Trask can kind of do on a football field. Yeah, they probably haven't opened the playbook up as much for him because of the situations he does come into the games and stuff like that. But all three of us know he's not the franchise guy.
Yeah, I mean, and this is something, I mean, hopefully the best case scenario is we could have a situation like what's happening with Philly where, they had a powerhouse team. They won the Super Bowl. And in the next couple of years, things kind of started to fall apart. And they had one really bad year, and then they completely rebounded, made it back to the playoffs, and now are back to being where they were.
Hey,
for at least one more week, that is.
You can call Baltimore as well and get Lamar Jackson.
I wanted to pivot to that next. Let's talk about Baltimore real quick because they almost pulled off the upset on Cincinnati.
And I if they had Lamar, they would have won that game.
Easily.
Yeah.
I saw, and this is where I wanted to bring up, I think this would be an interesting discussion point. There was a lot of talk on social media after the Ravens game where it felt as if a lot of people were saying, Lamar should have, suited up, put on the knee brace and played that game. You had people like Michael Vick saying, like, you got to put the team on your back. But you had other people like RG3 saying, like, hey, I tried to do that and I ruined my career because my leg snapped in half. Now, I'm going to agree with RG3 on this because having watched that game and still getting PTSD thinking about his leg going,
I completely agree. It's the injury Lamar Jackson has, a lot of people don't understand what it is. That knee is so unstable right now. And he has to think about so many different things regarding that knee. His entire career, life after football, his contract that Baltimore just hasn't given him that he deserves. So the people that are mad at him are the people that just, I would say, I don't want to call him stupid, but like you really have to think of the bigger picture. Like, yeah, these guys are getting paid a lot of money and a lot of players have, stuck it out for the team and it's worked out. But sometimes, like RG3, it hasn't worked out. And now he's a great analyst, and I love RG3 as an analyst. But you can't convince me that he should have played that game.
Yeah. This is a guy, this guy, Lamar Jackson, he's already a guy who's bet on himself all season, So going out there and, let's say, risking even more of an injury and hurting that knee worse.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, I already don't have a contract right now anyway. If I go injure this knee, I'm definitely not going to have a contract at all. Because then people are, the owners and GMs and head coaches, they start looking at it like, all right, well, how long is the recovery process going to be for this guy? Should we go all in on this guy right now while he has to go get 7 different surgeries to fix that knee? Or should we wait to see what's going to go on after these 7 different surgeries? So I think that Lamar made the best decision for himself and for his career, because at the end of the day, it is about him. These general managers and owners and stuff like that, yes, they want you to be a part of their franchise because, it's guys like that make the franchise better. But at the end of the day, everybody knows in this thing, it's a business. It's next man up mentality. So, if Lamar were to go out there and get hurt, it'd be like, hey, Lamar, sorry you injured your knee a little bit more, but this is where we part ways. And it would have ruined his career forever there because he took a risk to go play one game that he may not even want, injured himself a little bit more, and then now, there's not a contract this offseason, or there's not a contract in the future or anything of that nature. Like right now, Lamar already knows guaranteed. Even if I don't get this contract, I'm getting paid $43 million next year because let's be honest, the Ravens are not stupid. They're going to franchise tag this man. They're not going to let this man walk. So he already knows right now I'm guaranteed $43 million next year. Like, I'm not going to ruin my chances of a guaranteed $43 million next year by going to injure myself more by playing this playoff game when I have this severe of an injury. So all those guys that were saying he should play, put the team on his back, this, that, and the third, they're idiots. And I would expect more out of Michael Vick, knowing the type of quarterback that Lamar Jackson is, because Lamar Jackson has a great arm, but we all know that Lamar Jackson relies on his legs a lot to get him out of a lot of situations. So he doesn't stand in the pocket a lot. He's not a Tom Brady. He's not a Peyton Manning. He's not a, one of those Joe Flacco's and stuff like that who sit in the pocket all day and throw the ball. No, the guy gets out of the pocket a lot more than a lot more quarterbacks do in the NFL now and back then. So,
especially back then.
Right. He's not going to go out there and risk more of an injury knowing that he relies on his legs to get out of a lot of situations, especially with the atrocious offense that they bring him every weekend, that, he has to have situations where he has to scramble out the pocket a lot because his receivers are running. He has 3 receivers running in the same spot and stupid shit like that. So I think Lamar made the best decision.
Speaking of that, if I'm Baltimore, I'm calling Vegas. I am calling Vegas and seeing what's up with Davante Adams. There's another wide receiver on the board that I'm just blanking on right now. But I am calling Vegas to see what's up and what they want, because giving Lamar that weapon, dude, it's over.
Well, I've been hearing some rumors lately that there's a reunion between Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, and Rodgers may go out there in Las Vegas.
I thought my rumor I've been hearing is that Tom Brady is going to go to Vegas.
It's a lot of rumors around there, but yeah, I've been hearing a Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers reunion out there in Vegas because the Raiders are definitely getting rid of Derek Carr this offseason.
Oh yeah, for sure. He already said goodbye. There, he's gone. Yeah, which I don't know exactly how I feel about that, but
Derek Carr?
Yeah.
I think it's time for a change.
For a change, yeah. I love Carr as a person. He's not bad as a quarterback.
I just pray that we don't get Derek Carr. I don't.
Nah, Howell played well.
Well, I've been hearing rumors about that too, that supposedly right now at this second, he's the starter next year.
That would make sense. You guys don't have a pick to get, one of the top 2 quarterbacks, and there's a pretty steep drop between after Stroud and Young. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. None of those guys are on the same talent level as Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud.
I saw C.J. Stroud in person when they played Notre Dame this year, dude. God, he's been my favorite quarterback for 2 years. I absolutely love the kid.
Yeah, he's stud.
I'm excited to see where he goes. But the playoffs happened.
Right.
And memes were made with Brett Maher missing not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 4 kicks in a row.
Whoa.
Washed.
They were all extra points, I believe.
Somebody said he had the under on the game because the under was 45.5 and they hit 45.
That's the performance that gets you kicked off a team. I would not be surprised if Brett Maher is not on the roster.
He is.
He is?
Yep.
Well, never mind then.
I saw it on ESPN.
There's just no way that they kick a field goal this week. They're going to – any red zone against San Francisco, they're going for it.
With that defense?
Hey, listen. Regardless, they're going to miss points. Your kicker's going to miss the point, or you're going to get turnover on downs anyway. So, you're in a lose-lose situation.
You're not wrong. It's very true. It just sucks that not only that the Cowboys won, but to see how bad the Bucks looked. I mean, that was incredible.
Do we have to keep talking about them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It actually was incredible. It was incredible to see because it was like, all right, well, if this guy is playing his last game, at least give us some fucking fight, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, jeez.
You're asking too much.
So that was a sad game to watch. I think there was a lot of interesting games though, and one game I loved was the Miami Buffalo game.
Dude.
Agreed.
Miami should not have been in that game at all. Their defense came up big. And the Josh Allen better than a lot of these quarterback comparisons. I want that shit to stop right now because this guy shows you week in and week out he's gonna throw at least 2 dummy interceptions for whatever reason, and he throws them right to defenders. And it's not even like he's overthrowing a receiver or the receiver dropped the ball and it's being batted in the air. No, he's throwing the ball right to these defenders. Like, it's just absolutely atrocious. So all the Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league thing and stuff like that, that all needs to stop from all these people in the media world saying that this guy is the number one guy and things like that, and he's better than all these other guys, because I just don't see it. I really just think he's the same Josh Allen he was his rookie year. He just has a lot more talent around him now. If you want me to be honest with you, like, yeah, the guy's always had a strong arm. He's always had that. Like, that's not new. But the guy has always been ass and thrown interceptions, and lots of them. And he's done that again this year, and he's done that again in the first playoff game, because Miami actually should have had 4 interceptions in that game. They dropped 2 of them. So it's more to, like, it makes you think more like, damn, is the NFL rigged, or was that just a great game? Because honestly, there was no reason at all that Miami should have been in that game. Like, Skylar Thompson, third-string quarterback, there's just no reason at all. No matter how much talent is on that team, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, I don't care. That guy, Skylar Thompson, should not have been able to get the ball to those guys.
That game was a perfect example of the concept of every given Sunday.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. There was no reason. Everyone thought, for good reason, that Buffalo was just going to destroy them. I was talking to some of the regulars at work, and they were like, "Yeah, 60-0." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, maybe, probably."
You started to think that too when they started out 17-0. It was like, all right, well, we know where this is going. This is going to be a blowout. Next thing I know, I check my phone about 30 minutes later. It's 17-17. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
it was honestly hard to watch, because it was just like, you're watching it, it's just like, do something. What are you doing? Everybody wants you to win. Everybody wants the Bills, to win the AFC because of all the shit they've gone through this year, and you're blowing it. It was honestly infuriating. Like, I'm watching this and I find myself getting annoyed at this. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Buffalo. What? And that's the reason I'm not confident in Buffalo anymore. That performance was so just terrible. I'm just like, I've lost all confidence in them. If you can't get past a 9-8 team with their third-string quarterback that's been hobbled by injuries and is nothing without their starting quarterback, if you can't get past him, how are you going to get past a Cincinnati team out for blood next week?
Yeah. And I say the Dolphins made great adjustments, because Stephon Diggs started that game with 6 catches, 100-something yards in the first half. I think he ended the game with like 8 catches for 100-something yards. So he only had two catches in that second half. So, the Dolphins went into halftime and made great adjustments to try and beat that football team. But I agree with you 100%, Isaac. That game right there showed me I can't put my confidence in Buffalo to go all the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so, nice segue, by the way. Speaking of second half adjustments, holy shit, Jacksonville.
Oh, my God. That was
And Here's the thing. So,
great script.
Oh, God.
So, on my parlay, I had the Jags winning, I had the Giants winning, I had the Bills winning, and I had
the Bengals.
And I had I didn't bet on the Bengals. Who else played on Saturday?
San Fran.
And I had San Fran winning.
Right.
So the only one I was confident in ironically, was the Bills game. But yeah, and that one was the most nerve-wracking. So, but Jacksonville was the first one to hit on that parlay, and it was incredible. Because how they were down 27-0.
Yeah, and that as much as I love the joke that the shit is rigged and stuff like that, like that was just great second half adjustment by the Jaguars.
How was Staley allowed on the plane back to
No,
LA? Should have been fired.
No, seriously, because this is the thing. This is why the Chargers lost that game. You're up 27-0. You came out of halftime and you got the ball. Why did you only run the ball 7 times from the third quarter to the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. You're up 27-0. I would have came out, ran the ball on first down. I don't give a shit if I had -2 yards on first down. It's 2nd and 12 now. I'm running the play clock down all the way, the whole 25 seconds, down to 1. And then I'm running the ball again. Now it may be 3rd and 7, or we may have got lucky and broke a run, and now it's first down again. All right, I'm going to keep running this football and keep dying down this play clock all the way down to 0. Snap the ball, and let's go on to the next play. Maybe the drive ends and we have to punt. Okay, cool. We punt it, but we just took 6 minutes off of the game clock because we ran so much time out. Those guys ran the ball 7 times and passed it more than 19 to 20 times in the second half, up 27-0. It just makes no sense to me. It's just like Atlanta in the Super Bowl against New England that year when they ran the ball 5 times in the second half and threw the ball the whole entire time, up 28-3. It just doesn't make sense to me. So as much as people like to joke, myself included, that it's rigged and all these things, you have to look at what teams do during the football games. And the Chargers didn't do what they needed to do to win that football game. Because if I'm up 27-0 at halftime, there's no way in hell you can convince me to pass the ball on the first play of the second half, or even there's no way in hell you can convince me to only run the ball 7 times in that second half when I'm up 27-0.
I think it's a case of an affliction that the entire NFL has really been dealing with this year, and it's analytic play callers. Coaches are looking at are trying to be analytical about this and looking at, like what is predicted to, be the best play call here. And they're trying to get cute with it. No one seems to understand that when you have a lead, you should go conservative and burn clock and try and keep that lead going, keep the groove going. No one does that anymore. So many games this year have just been sloppy and gross because teams are like, this is why teams like, this is why I love watching teams like the Detroit Lions. Detroit doesn't do that shit. The Detroit Lions, if you've noticed this year, they play every game like they're trying to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. They always are going for the throat. They're always going for the kill. It's why their offense was so effective. Dan Campbell isn't an analytical coach. He believes in just good old fashioned, like we'll drum up the plays, but at the end of the day, we're here to win. So many of these younger coaches, Giants managed to run more in the second half. They were exactly. So many of these analytics minded coaches are trying to get cute and creative and trying to, they're overthinking it. As a result, it's why you see so many games like this where a team just completely falls apart because they overthink it and they're completely outmatched. Like Brandon Staley should be fired. He's a terrible coach. He doesn't understand clock management at all. He doesn't understand how to call plays, which plays he should call correctly in what situations. It's just a shame that the Chargers haven't made any moves yet. I mean, they did fire somebody, right?
Their offensive coordinator.
They fired their offensive coordinator. Not good enough. Get rid of the coach.
Yeah.
It's plain. There's a whole but I have a hit list of coaches and teams who do this shit. Nathaniel Hackett, gone. Good. Cliff Kingsbury.
Jets are looking at him.
The Giants are what?
The Jets are looking at him for the offensive coordinator.
Ew, gross. Cliff Kingsbury. Good, he's gone. Brandon Staley, you're next. Zach
Taylor.
Zach. Why I almost said Zach Brown for some reason. Not Zach Brown. Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor for the Bengals. I'm looking at you closely. You're on my hit list. All right. You've done a couple things that made me very concerned. John Harbaugh, this year in particular. Hey, yo.
Harbaugh's gotta go.
You gotta go too.
Harbaugh's gotta go.
You know who you're not hearing on that list? The established coaches who like Brian Dable, Kevin O'Connell for the Vikings. I know the Vikings, weren't great this year, but that was more of just, there's a lot of things wrong with the
Can we
Vikings they
talk
need to
about the
address.
Vikings?
Oh yeah, let's get the Vikings out of the way. What was that?
He's off camera being a father, so he wants to talk about the Vikings. So let's talk about the Vikings.
They're frauds. Simple as that. The Vikings weren't ready for the playoffs. They got lucky because they got super lucky all season long, and they finally ran out of luck.
We called it from the beginning.
It's that, yeah. I've been saying all season, the Vikings don't impress me, man. They don't impress me at all. The only person on the Vikings that impresses me is, and I wanted to talk about this earlier when we were talking about Mike Evans as a Hall of Famer, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, agree.
That guy right there. I was actually having a talk with somebody yesterday about Justin Jefferson, and since he's come into the league, he's been over 1,400 yards receiving every year with Kirk Cousins as his quarterback. Sorry, I was reading the thing at the bottom.
Biggest culprit was Vikings defense, not Kirk Cousins.
Oh yeah, Kirk Cousins actually played a great game on Saturday or Sunday, whatever day that was. But they just I don't know. The team as a whole, it's just they never impressed me throughout the whole entire season, and I was saying that since the Commanders lost to them, we should beat them. But those guys, they definitely didn't come to play. The Giants came with a lot more momentum. The Giants, I saw Saquon Barkley run the ball like his rookie year. Saquon Barkley, he hasn't run the ball like that in a long time. Every time he touched the ball, he was very, very powerful. He was very explosive. He looked like he was going to score every time he touched it. They had a great game plan around Justin Jefferson and made Kirk Cousins throw to his other receivers and stuff like that. But as a whole, the Vikings, they just shouldn't have even been there, man. I don't even know how they won all those games to get there. It's just amazing.
Right?
Luck. They had a golden horseshoe shoved way up there.
Here's the thing that kind of like irritates me a little bit when people say luck, though. Because if you look at every single championship team in any sport, luck is involved. Injuries are involved. When you look at the Bengals making the Super Bowl, they didn't have any COVID, they didn't have any injuries. That's luck. When you look at the Raptors winning the championship, they didn't have Curry, they didn't have Klay Thompson, they didn't have they had Curry. They didn't have Klay Thompson, they didn't have KD. So there's the injury. There's also
the Raptors were just the better team there. The Raptors also.
They were not.
Well, I think some people and some analysts would agree the Raptors were the best team in the East that year.
The best team in the East, yeah, no doubt. But the Warriors were going to force a Game 7 against the Raptors with 2/3 of a Klay Thompson, no KD, and Steph Curry.
I guess there was luck then. I guess a couple of bounces went the Raptors' way.
Shut up.
Sometimes there was a lot of anticipation. Will the Raptors actually do it? We had to wait a few extra seconds.
Shut up. Your Bucks just lost. Shut up. So
the Sixers lost on the most ridiculous 3. Game 7.
He traveled. Okay.
He didn't travel. They were just better.
He traveled. So
strange things can happen in the NBA. Sometimes a team that shouldn't even be there gets lucky and gets into a Game 7 situation against a superior Canadian team. And said Canadian team wins because basketball gods decide to take a ball and put it into a net when it shouldn't go in.
It was the luckiest shot I've ever freaking seen.
I love teasing you about that.
It still brings me pain. Is this the dagger? Plays in my head constantly.
Is this the dagger?
Yeah. And I can't just I saw this. So I was on Twitter, as I always am, and I know we're getting off track here for a second, but this just reminded me. I was on Twitter, and this Raptors fan, I had to give this Raptors fan credit. I forget who it was, but he was like, "How did Embiid make this shot?" And it was the shot that Embiid where he won Game 3, forced, we were up 3-0, and last year a buzzer beater, all of that. It was the start to that, and then as the ball goes in, it transitions into Kawhi Leonard's shot making it. So it tricked all the Sixers fans, and usually seeing that clip brings me so much pain, but I just had to give so much respect to the person who made that because that's just perfect. And I never ever give Raptors fans credit or anything like that. I had to give that one credit. That was just great.
Yeah, we're never gonna let you live that down. To get back on track, let's
Yeah, I
let's
got a little bit
cover.
back off track
Let's
for a
do some
second.
predictions for the divisional round because we got 4 really interesting games, and I'm curious to hear what everyone's opinions are. I know that Kylie is not going to enjoy this section because Calvin and I have some interesting opinions. Um, but let's start with the first of the divisional games: Jacksonville facing off against Kansas City. Um, I think it's safe to say that Jacksonville's magical run ends here just because it's the Chiefs.
Yeah, this Patrick Mahomes, man. He's like he's the new what Brady used to be. If you bet against Brady, you're gonna lose your money. I'll never bet against Pat Mahomes. There's no way. Like you can bet against Brady now, but back in the day, you used to not be able to bet against Brady. Like even like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, if you bet against Brady, you were gonna lose your money. But that's how Pat Mahomes is now. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
I'm riding with Dougie P.
That's crazy work.
Oh my god, you're crazy.
I know.
Really?
I know. Yeah. The teacher versus the student. We'll see.
I I have to roll with the Chiefs. I just don't see any way that they are that Jacksonville really has a way around this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's definitely gonna be like it's definitely a hot take on my part, obviously.
very much a hot take. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's given the Jags a chance.
Well, I mean, the thing where the Jags have the chance is they played last week. Chiefs took off. Sometimes sitting at home for that 1 week does give you a little bit less momentum, because you're a little rusty. Like you practiced last week, but you didn't play like those guys did. So they're already in game form, things like that. So that does give Jacksonville a chance. But at the end of the day, once Mahomes starts going and gets going, it's a little hard to stop him and shut him down. So that's where it'll all end.
I just think I just think this Chiefs team is just too good right now. They're itching to get back to the AFC Championship game and get to host the Arrowhead Invitational Year 6, which would be absolutely ridiculous, by the way, the 6 straight AFC Championship games in Kansas City. That being said, they only get that if the other divisional game goes a certain way, which, speaking of other AFC divisional game, it's the lost game of the AFC. Bengals, Bills. We finally get it. I'll let you guys start. Kylie, who do you think is going to win this?
I forget who I picked. I picked the. Oh yeah, I picked the Bills. I think I don't know. I have a little too much faith in Josh Allen.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, I wouldn't have faith in that guy.
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Cincinnati won. That's like aside from the Jacksonville pick, this one is the one I'm obviously most concerned about.
I think that after last week, Buffalo proved that not only are they not as good as a 2 seed, they proved last week that, they are extremely vulnerable.
Yeah, they proved they're human.
And I'll say this, my roommate's boyfriend actually has been saying this since week 1. Buffalo all season long has been playing games way closer to the chest than they should.
Yeah.
There have been plenty of situations this season where the Bills have gotten into situations where they have either lost or come close to losing games that they should be winning big because they keep making mistakes and they keep allowing their opponents too close to them. That has been the problem with the Bills for years, and it's still the problem this year. It's one of the reasons why they're not the number one seed. You know, I lost most of my faith in Buffalo last week. I know everybody wants them to win, but they're going up against a Cincinnati team that last weekend, proved that they can fight through tough situations. And the reason that I didn't lose faith in Cincinnati like I lost faith in Buffalo is because with Cincinnati, I knew there was going to be a chance the Ravens would play tough because it's the AFC North football.
Year 5, not 6 of the Arrowhead Invitational, and it might be a neutral site. Yeah.
28, hang on, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, year 5. Okay. That would be year 6.
Do your math.
I'm sorry. I'm bad. Math was my worst subject in school. Okay. Give me a break.
Right.
I had to downgrade my math courses halfway through 7th grade because I was struggling so much.
I feel that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I lost all faith in Buffalo, so go Bengals.
They kept up with Baltimore. Kept up with them without Lamar. So
this is a tough matchup here. This is probably going to be the best game this weekend that we have.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
I see 30s plus for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go with Joey B, man.
I can definitely see why.
I trust Joey B more than I trust Josh Allen. This is a guy who did it at a Power 5 school, came into the NFL and turned a whole shit franchise around and took him to the Super Bowl in his third year? Second year.
After a torn ACL.
After a torn ACL. So, this guy, he's got me. He's got my back. And I'm gonna back him up with that.
Respect it.
Our next over in the NFC, our first NFC matchup, Philadelphia and the Giants. Third match of the season. Philly swept the regular season.
Go Birds, moving on.
Okay. Yeah. No. We're gonna talk this one out because Calvin and I have some interesting opinions on this one. I wanted to take Philly. I thought about it. I said Philly. They look strong this season. They've looked strong all year. They're arguably one of the best teams if the Chiefs didn't exist. But then I saw how they played the last couple of weeks. Not just with Jalen Hurts out, because we knew with Jalen Hurts out, the team wasn't going to be the same team, and they weren't. But even with Jalen Hurts back last week 2 weeks ago against the Giants, they looked pedestrian almost. Like they seemed to be struggling to put the Giants away. The same Giants team that a couple weeks earlier they had blown out of the water.
They were calling bad plays, and they weren't running as much as they should have.
Right, but they're playing the Giants team with their second stringers.
And look what happened when we all had our starters.
Well,
fair enough. But again, here's the point I'm going to make is this.
I'm not confident at all, by the way. I think it could go
good. You shouldn't be, because I feel like the Giants have a ton of momentum after getting that win over the Vikings. Their first playoff win, by the way, since 2011, which interestingly enough, you know how far back that was? The last time the Giants won a playoff game, one of the players they were playing against was Aaron Hernandez. Just want to bring that up.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This Giants team has a ton of momentum, and they're going against a rival. Something I noticed from all the divisional rivalry games that we saw on Wild Card Weekend, they were all extremely close. Even Seahawks 49ers was close for the first 3 quarters. There's something about playing your divisional opponent, your divisional rivals in the playoffs that always brings the games way closer than they should be. And I think that the Giants, with their momentum, I think the Giants could pull off the upset here. I really think that New York is going to pull off the upset.
Not only just momentum, it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Yep.
Especially in one season. So there's momentum there, and then they're hard to beat a team 3 times thing. as well as I just think that the Giants are going to come in with a great game plan due to the fact that they have lost to these guys already twice this season. As well as I think Brian Dable stamped himself as coach of the year last week when he won that playoff game against Minnesota.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, this guy, he's turned this team around tremendously. Not only that, the Daniel Jones knows what's at stake, contract year. So he needs to continue to. Well, he's already played a great enough year that he's going to get a contract next year, whether it's from the Giants, whether it's from anybody else. But to get a little bit more money and to be rated with the top money with those top guys in the league, he's going to have to go ahead and beat the Philadelphia Eagles this week. And those guys have a lot of momentum coming into this game. Division game, division rival. You guys have beat them twice this year. And they're going to come out and try to punch you guys in the mouth. And not only that, they're the 6th seed. I'm pretty sure last time they were the 6th seed, they went to the Super Bowl. So,
yeah,
that's all I have to say with that. And they didn't play one single home game that year that they went to the Super Bowl. So this is, I like to think history repeats itself a little bit.
Mike says since 1970, 2 teams have played 3 times in a season 24 times. The sweeping team is 15-9, happens more often than you think. So, essentially, go Birds.
I don't feel it. I'm not feeling. I'm feeling Giants.
I'm not feeling Philly, man. And I usually have,
I better not get texts from either of you unless we're winning.
When I'm one way towards a game, then it's like there's a reason for it. And for whatever reason, I am with the Giants this week.
It's because you suck. Next game, Isaac.
All right. Well, the next game is the game I'm most looking forward to because it is the most played game in NFL playoff history. By the way, sorry I had to turn my camera off. I had to deal with something across the room. 49ers Cowboys. These two teams are meeting for the 9th time in the playoffs, which has broken the record for the most played playoff matchup, which previously was held by Pittsburgh versus Denver for some reason. Surprisingly, yeah. Every single time that these two teams have played in the playoffs, it has been legendary. Seriously, think about it. 1970 NFC Championship game, 1971 NFC Championship game, 1972 divisional game where the Cowboys came back from a 28-6 deficit. That happened. 1981 NFC Championship game, the catch game that launched the 49ers dynasty. The NFC Championship from 1992 to 1994, all 3 years, it was 49ers Cowboys. Their most recent matchup last year, of course, was the infamous game where the Cowboys forgot how to play football in the final minutes.
Yep. That was beautiful.
And now
it happens again.
Yeah, now they have to play each other. Like I said, when we made our predictions for the Super Bowl, I said that San Francisco was the best team in the league and is going to keep being the best team in the league, and that's why they're going to just curb stomp Dallas. I wouldn't be surprised if it's close, though, because Dallas really impressed me last week. But then again, you have to remember they're playing a Tampa team that didn't belong. So I think San Francisco is going to win this big.
It's funny because if we go back like 10 episodes maybe, when San Fran was doing real bad, I said if San Fran sneaks into the playoffs, that's a team, because we were talking about something with the Eagles, and I think somebody was saying the Eagles. We were making a Super Bowl prediction, and I said something like, if the Eagles have to play a team like San Francisco in the playoffs, there's no way San Francisco is going to lose 3 times or whatever, how many years in a row in the playoffs, and just keep losing. Like, those guys need or want to and are going to get to a championship. And it's funny because we're just seeing it happen now. And I walked away from San Francisco going to the championship. I totally even forgot about San Francisco throughout the weeks and stuff like that. But give me San Fran by 20 plus, man. They're going to beat the shit out of the Cowboys. I'm not just saying that because I hate the Cowboys. They are going to beat the shit out of the Cowboys. Like,
I'm clipping that.
They have a better defense. They have a way better offense. Honestly, San Francisco might win a Super Bowl. I saw a goddamn package last week where Christian McCaffrey was at the tight end. How do you stop this team when you're able to put your running back at tight end and your receiver at running back? Like, how do you stop that?
You don't.
I don't think there is a team that has. These guys are 10-0 since this guys came to the team. They're 6-0 with Brock Purdy. Eventually, luck runs out and, streaks run out and stuff like that. But I don't think that this is the case with San Francisco. These guys are determined, and they know what they wanted to do. They knew when they made that call for Christian McCaffrey, they wanted to go win, and they want to win now.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Give me San Francisco by 20. Clip it.
Clip it. It's clipped. Don't worry. All right. So some quick MLB news, because there's finally MLB news coming out.
Finally.
Yeah. So Tommy Pham signs with the Mets like about an hour ago.
Boo.
Adam Duvall goes to the Red Sox.
Boo.
Trey Mancini to the Cubs. I heard the Marlins are interested in Aroldis Chapman. I heard it. I don't know how deep they're going to be in talks with him, but he's from Florida. He lives there, so it wouldn't surprise me if he signs there. McCutchen goes back to Pittsburgh to end his career, probably, which is beautiful to see. He belongs there, if not in Philly.
Did you guys know that Andrew McCutchen has a thing for furries on Twitter?
It's the funniest freaking thing I've ever seen, because whenever he plays in Pittsburgh, the largest furry convention is there. All he tweets out is furries. That's all he says. And it is the funniest freaking thing I have ever seen in my life.
I will never understand the furry community. I mean, y'all do what you want to do, but I will never understand it. Never.
It's just funny that he tweets out furries.
Furries.
Just furries. That's all. Simply, I don't even know if he puts a period at the end of it. It's just furries. And I lost my freaking mind when I saw that.
It's pretty funny.
It's hysterical.
Pretty funny.
Just knowing McCutchen as a person and seeing him do it's the funniest thing. I'm glad he's back in Pittsburgh, because if not in Philadelphia, I would have loved him on the Phillies again. But if not Philly, Pittsburgh's where you belong.
Maybe the Pirates might need to keep their parrot mascot away from him, though.
Right.
Yeah. Just the new person who plays the mascot. Now, don't get close to Andrew McCutchen if he's in the bullpen. Be careful around Andrew McCutchen. He likes furries. He likes furries. Okay, well, I respect that. No, he likes furries.
He tweets about furries.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm gonna turn the costume then. Whatever.
The title of this episode: Beer Battered Furries.
No, just the title of this episode is just gonna be furries.
Furries.
We're gonna get so many extra views on this episode of people tuning in, being like, oh, "They're talking about furries, my community," and they just hear a bunch of guys like talking about a bunch of people talking about their NFL picks. They're like, "This isn't what I wanted."
Oh my god!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, listen at home, is how advertising works.
Two more things. Adam Duvall goes to the Red Sox on a 1-year deal. Kind of pisses me off. I wanted him. Makes me a little bit upset.
Anyone who plays
the new scoreboard at Citizens. That's another thing. The Citizens Bank Park is changing their scoreboard. They had it since 2011. They're changing it now. It is freaking massive.
Nice.
It's huge. And I can't wait to see it on opening day. And I can't wait to see how many home runs everybody gets on opening day.
Who are the Phillies playing on opening day?
The Reds.
We're playing the Orioles. Fun.
I want to go to I'm going to go to the Yankee Stadium. Final thing. I've seen so many people talk about Shohei Ohtani, like trade, because he's a free agent after this year.
Yeah.
So trade deadline or just an off-season acquisition, like
I don't know if it's gonna happen. I think
I don't know either. It might be the biggest trade we've ever seen. And
there's always a chance, but I don't think he's going anywhere yet.
I think he leaves in free agency. I don't think he gets traded because I don't think anybody. Well, he could get traded. Like if the Angels clearly just aren't doing anything, it's very possible he could get traded.
Yeah,
because he's going to leave in the offseason anyway. You might as well just get something for him. But you can't just accept the first offer. Obviously, it could very well be a significantly bigger package than we saw for Juan Soto and Josh Bell. And it should be big because Ohtani can play two positions. He's your DH and he's your starting pitcher.
Yeah.
Like he warrants a huge contract because of that. He warrants a big trade package because of that. He is a big time player because he can play two positions. He's incredibly he's so valuable. It's not even funny at this point.
Arguably one of the most valuable players. I have to turn on my camera because I have to go across the room again. Arguably one of the most valuable players in MLB right now.
Without a doubt.
As my bias is going to sit in here, I think that he should go to the Yankees, but that's just my bias. Everybody wants Ohtani.
He's staying on the West Coast because he wants to be closer. That's the closest place to play in Japan. That's close to Japan.
Right.
It's the closest place to Japan. So he's going to stay on the West Coast. So that leaves, realistically, he's got the California teams. Realistically. So that's the Dodgers or the Padres. Those are my two teams that I can see getting him. And only those two.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. But those are the two teams that are going to offer him what he wants.
Oh, I think I just threw up a little bit in my mouth, Kylie. Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Really appreciate you putting the image of Shohei Ohtani on the Dodgers or the Padres into my brain. Really
I hate it too. I hate it too. But look, it's gonna happen.
It's unholy.
Yeah, it is. But he's not going to go to the Athletics. He's definitely not going to stay with the Angels. Who's the next closest team other than California? And the California team?
Seattle. Oh, wait. Ooh. I like that. Seattle. Wait, no, he should go to Seattle.
Seattle's good. I would like to see. That would be interesting.
That would be very interesting.
He should go to Seattle. I want him in Seattle now. How do we get him to Seattle? By the way, this is unrelated to sports. I just wanted to bring this up because I keep seeing this get brought up on my social media feed. Completely unrelated to sports. Did you guys see the video of the woman at the Atlanta airport who grabbed a fire extinguisher and started attacking people with it?
I did not.
Look up Atlanta airport fire extinguisher lady video. I know it's not related to sports. I just wanted to bring it up because I keep seeing it. But what is it with airports that cause people to go crazy?
I don't know. I forgot about the Giants. I forgot they existed. No. I don't think, while they can't offer him the money, Shohei probably wants to compete for a World Series. And while the Giants could sway him, I don't think that's going to be the option. I think it will be between the Padres or the Dodgers, with Seattle being just a team he could go to. But I only see Dodgers or Padres. I would love Seattle, but I only see Dodgers or Padres.
Fair enough.
Yeah. We got some NBA updates though. Let me move the. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Okay. NBA, Paul George returned to the lineup with the Clippers. finally. But they lost to the Sixers, so that's fun. The Sixers seem to be playing really well lately.
Yeah, they do, and it's like I mean, Embiid's playing very great every night, but Harden is
41-9 last night.
Yeah, Harden missing in action some nights. I think there was a point in time last night where Harden had 7 points in the fourth quarter, and I was like, "Who is this guy? Like, what the hell is going on?" But Embiid should be one of the top. He should be in the top 3 for the MVP race right now. That guy, he's been playing his ass off every night. But you know, Luke is still number 1 for MVP right now, just because he's crazy. But yeah, Embiid and the Sixers look good right now.
Starting to get it together.
Finally, damn.
LeBron should be in the MVP conversation too.
I agree. He's I forget how much he's averaging. I can look that up real quick.
The other night, or whatever night they just beat the Rockets. Was that last night?
That was the night before.
Okay. The night they beat the Rockets, somebody asked him, they say, what was your game plan tonight? You know, you've been doing this, and this, all these games, and you guys have been losing. He said, well, I've been scoring 30 and it doesn't work, so I had to go out and score 40 tonight. So it's
like
just
that.
You know, it's just funny to me that a 38-year-old guy in year 20 or 21 or whatever the hell this is here can just, you know, turn it on and turn that switch on whenever he wants. Like, all right, well, I'm scoring 30 and it's not working, so let me go score 40 tonight. And it's like, that just shows you right there, this guy can go score 40 points every night if he wanted to. He just does it because he tries to get his teammates more involved. He wants to build. He's been saying since the time he got to the Lakers, he wants to build the Lakers so that they can be good after he leaves.
Yeah.
They haven't found the guy yet to try and take over this team after he leaves. He's given Russell Westbrook an opportunity. He's given Anthony Davis an opportunity. He's given this guy and that guy an opportunity. Like, every guy is just shit in the bed. So he still has to be the main superstar in year 20. He definitely deserves an MVP race.
He deserves recognition for sure. He's averaging 29.7 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, 7 assists on 51.1%.
Year 20.
Year 20. At 38 years old. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. And it's crazy of the longevity, because Jabari Smith says, you played my dad in your first ever NBA game.
That was great. I loved that.
It's crazy.
Like, and then Jabari has the audacity to be like, you feel old, huh? It was great. It made me happy. I loved that video. It was wholesome. But another dude that is just not getting any help is Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with DeMar DeRozan lately. He's been missing in action, man.
Not only that, but the Bulls just haven't been good.
I've been hearing a lot of talks about Zach LaVine wants to go to LA.
Oh, God.
But, I mean, I don't know what that does for LA, because I don't know. I feel like, I don't know.
What would they give up to get Zach LaVine? They probably have to give up, what, AD? Russ? Maybe not together, but...
Probably Russ. I don't think they'll give up AD just because LeBron is so high on AD. But probably...
He dropped 55 the night I saw him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. AD is so dominant and can be so dominant if he could stay healthy. He just can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
But they'll probably have to give up either Russ or AD, but they'll probably give up Russ and a couple role players.
Yeah, I mean, but I want him on a good team.
Surprisingly bad the Lakers have been. They're not too far from the play-in tournament.
No, they're not. They're not at all.
Yeah, they're not too far out from the play-in tournament. I think if they could get their full team healthy for maybe a month, they'll go on a great streak.
they're starting to creep up there a bit.
Yeah.
And it's very impressive, especially where they were at the start of the season.
1,000%.
Yeah.
The Warriors too. The Warriors were scaring me. I didn't know what the Warriors were doing at the beginning of the season, but they've crept back into being the Warriors again.
Yeah, they've been quietly being good, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it concerns me whenever the Warriors do good.
Right.
Especially if they're
It's
quietly good, because then they'll just come out and win another championship somehow.
exactly. So they're not a team to mess with, to take lightly. Still, after almost 8 years of just being a pain in everybody's ass.
We're coming up on almost a decade of the Warriors being the best team of the NBA.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
Steve Kerr's making a great case for, being one of the greatest coaches of all time as well.
He's already up there, in my opinion.
Oh,
he's right up there.
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Like I put him right up there with Phil Jackson, Rhett Auerbach.
Oh, I would not say Phil Jackson.
Okay, maybe not yet, but he's getting there.
Phil Jackson literally had 3 three-peats with 2 different teams. Phil Jackson is like a king. I wouldn't go that far yet.
I want to know what religious deity Phil Jackson discovered during his weird meditation circles that allowed him to achieve basketball immortality.
Dude, I know, literally. So I was watching this documentary on the Lakers. I've watched a shit ton of them. It's on Hulu. Recommend watching it. It's fantastic. They go through like the entire history, and so we're coming. I just watched the couple episodes of the 2000s. Like they just brought Shaq in, and then I ended on Shaq being on the Heat. So he actually had the team meditate, and they weren't taking it serious. And then once they started playing well, they were like, "Oh, maybe this is something that works, I guess." And they just took it, ran with it, and won 3 in a row.
Yeah, that's
like, and it was funny. The story behind them actually getting Shaq was amazing. Or no, the story behind the Lakers getting Phil is the story I'm thinking of. So they sent Shaq over because it was Shaq's team at the time, and they sent Shaq over to like talk to him and see if there's chemistry between the two. Because you can have a great player and a great coach, but if they don't get along, you got nothing.
Yeah.
So, right. So they sent Shaq over, and Phil Jackson had Shaq do this, do that. And Shaq was like, I don't want to do this. He's like, oh, but he's testing me. My father did that to me too. And so he did it. And then he went into Phil Jackson's house, and he went into this room, and it had all these Larry O'Brien trophies. And so at that point, he was like, okay, that's our guy.
Yeah.
And history was made after that. So it's just something I found interesting, and how crazy the Lakers have just been the talk of everybody ever since the 70s.
Yeah, no, it's the sustained success of the Lakers and that they haven't really had a period of being bad for so long. It's really impressive. I don't think any other team can really, claim to be like that. By the way, if anyone is curious why I have my camera off, actually I'm getting ready for work. I'm changing into my work outfit. So I want to keep the podcast going though.
You had to announce that. It's so weird.
No, I just want because people watching are probably gonna be like, "Hey, why is his camera off?" I just made clear I'm getting ready for work, but I want to stay on the podcast.
You're so weird.
That's not weird. Calvin has literally gotten up to go change a diaper before during the podcast, and you don't call that weird. No offense, Calvin. You know what you're doing. So I'm weird for getting my work stuff ready. Well,
you're just weird in general, buddy.
Screw this.
All right, let's end the NBA. Let's go back to the NHL and end this chaotic show.
Well, we all know what the biggest story in the NHL is, but it's been talked about to death by other people. So I think the best thing we could do is just talk about the actual stuff
need-
Yeah,
going on in the
I
NHL.
need you to text me your picks for today before you go to work too.
Oh yeah, I do. Calvin and I tried to get a what was that parlay yesterday?
We missed by one. The Winnipeg
Yeah.
Jets, man.
Here, I'll give you
Freaking
my picks
Jets,
right now.
dude.
I'll give you my picks right now. Give me Penguins over Senators. Give me Bruins over Islanders. That's an easy pick. Give me Avalanche to upset the Flames. I like my road team so far for today's games. Give me Avalanche to
Interesting.
upset the Flames. Give me Stars to beat the Sharks, and give me my Lightning to beat the Canucks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Only 5 games today.
Probably the biggest news in the NHL really is that the number 1 overall pick, Slavkovsky, is out for 3 months for the Habs, which they haven't been that bad this season. They've been getting better. They're still dead last in the East, but they're getting better.
That's good. Evander Kane returned to the Oilers and beat the
Ew.
Kraken for the 4th straight. Yeah, I know. But he
Ew.
beat the Kraken for the 4th straight win, so whatever.
It's okay though. Kraken are
So-
still solidly in second place in their division. Plus, this is
Yeah.
this is key. New Jersey's just a single point behind Carolina for the Metro division.
Yes, sir. So we'll
awesome.
keep it up at that. Yeah, I know. It's great. Unexpected and great.
Fantastic.
The Minnesota Wild extend Matt Boldy 7 years, $49 million. That's a good deal.
Good for him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know hockey contracts yet, but
A lot of
Yeah,
hockey
yeah.
really is just contracts because you see hockey, there's way more talk about the contracts than anything else. Like in other sports worlds, like in other sports, you don't talk about contracts at the same level that they do in the NHL. I've always found that really interesting.
yeah, I've noticed that a little bit. And then the final thing, the Golden Knights goalie, Laner, he filed for bankruptcy, $50 million.
Gee.
Get your guy. This is just for anyone out there who ends up becoming rich and famous. Get yourself a financial advisor. Trust me.
Or just like, yeah, I mean, make sure you find someone you trust. That's a big thing. Because financial advisors can really screw you over,
Oh, yeah.
like really bad. So, all right, Isaac, kick us off.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Beer Battered Sports Podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. Give me 1 second here. This show, as always, is brought to you by the Fired Up Sports Podcast Network. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at bbsports_pod. You can interact with us live on Facebook or YouTube over there. Head over to the link in our Twitter bio for our merch. Buy our merch. It's really nice and soft, and it's the only layer you need during these cold winter months. Also, big
There
shout
you
out.
go.
Big shout out to the other podcasts of the Fired Up Sports Network. You guys are awesome.
Yes. All right. It ends this week. See you guys next week.